One measly Tesla Model S and the use of the White House as a salesroom. A damn good deal for Donald Trump, if you ask me. For you, the American taxpayer, nothing at all.
There's a difference between governing and monetizing the job. Most Americans feel it instinctively. Public office is supposed to be a trust, not a storefront. What makes this moment matter isn't one policy dispute or one personality clash. It's the pattern, how power, access, and money keep circling the same small group, while the public is left holding the bill. That's the frame Senator Adam Schiff lays out in this clip. Not outrage, not theatrics, but a ledger. A countdown of transactions that, taken together, raise a basic question: who benefits when the presidency becomes a business opportunity? Schiff describes Donald Trump's crypto venture as his most brazen cashing in. That line lands because it distills the entire argument into one modern example. A meme coin tied to a sitting president, billions in paper value and trading fees, top holders, many reportedly foreign, invited to private dinners and White House tours. No policy briefing, just proximity. For ordinary Americans, this resonates for a simple reason. Access has a price tag now, and it's not paid in votes. It's paid in assets, memberships, and deals structured just far enough away from formal government to avoid clear rules. What's striking across Schiff's list isn't just the scale of the money, it's the consistency of the incentives. Taxpayers fund golf trips to properties the president owns. Foreign governments partner on luxury developments, while U.S. foreign policy decisions hang in the background. A $400 million aircraft is framed as a gift, while the public pays to retrofit and secure it, absorbing the risk. At every step, the same accountability gap appears. Ethics laws are narrow. Oversight is slow. Disclosures come after the fact, if at all. And institutions designed to prevent conflicts often rely on voluntary compliance by the very people benefiting. That's not a left-right problem.
Examples. So entering in at number 10 of the top 10 deals for Donald Trump and the worst deals for the American people, we only need to look at the South Lawn. We all saw this happen on the White House grounds. Donald Trump and Elon Musk turning the place into a Tesla showroom. But what you might have missed is what happened before and after this photo was taken. Just before Trump turned the White House grounds into a used car lot, Tesla stock had been in an historic and disastrous slump. With their market value cut in half since December, Musk needed a jolt to his ailing company, and he got it. When the president was asked whether his symbolic purchase of a Tesla at the White House might help the company's stock, Trump said, "I hope it does." But that wasn't all, because the best part of the deal for Donald Trump took place after the Teslas had been driven away and the cameras had been packed up. Because not long after the special live stream on X or Twitter had ended, something even more important happened. With Tesla shares on the rebound, Elon Musk promised to pump $100 million into Donald Trump's political operation. That's right, Donald Trump received one of the largest political contributions in American history, all for the price of one measly Tesla Model S and the use of the White House as a salesroom. A damn good deal for Donald Trump, if you ask me. For you, the American taxpayer, nothing at all. Zero, zilch, nada. All you got was being taken for a ride. For number 9 of the best deals for Donald Trump, we have to zoom down to Mar-a-Lago, where you can generally find the president golfing on your dime and lining his pockets in the process. We saw this during the first Trump administration, but at that time, he was still finishing the front 9. During his first term, Donald Trump made an astounding 473 trips to his own golf courses while in office. But this term, he seems determined to go for the club record. In just his first 100 days, Donald Trump spent over a quarter of those days while in office, golfing. Wouldn't you like a job like that, where you get to play golf every 4 days? Pretty sweet. Through market collapses, Donald Trump was out on the golf course. Through national crises, Donald Trump was out on the golf course, enjoying the golden age in his golden golf cart, playing the back nine, while you struggled to pay your rent or your mortgage, which is bad in and of itself, that the President of the United States is spending so much time, when there's so many challenges facing American families, out on the golf course. But that's not even the worst of it. Because guess who is paying for all that golf? You are. You are, the American people, the taxpayer. That's right, all those drives and those chip shots, all those slices and those hooks, all the missed putts, you're paying for every hole. This term, reports suggest he's spent well over $30 million in taxpayer funds on these golfing trips. That's your tax dollars at work, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not just the use of these taxpayer funds that's a travesty. It's that these taxpayer dollars go to benefit him directly. His golf courses, his hotels charge the U.S. government to pay for the Secret Service agents and other White House staff to play golf with him or to accompany him on his rounds, to rent golf carts, to have meals. In other words, your tax dollars are going to the Trump hotel and golf course organizations directly. And if you're interested and wealthy enough, Mar-a-Lago memberships will cost you a cool $1 million or more, where you can hobnob with the president and his family and see if you too can get any special deals from the federal government. But don't spend all your money at the Trump golf courses, because there is a movie that you're going to want to save some money to rent, because, well, someone has got to watch it. Coming in at number 8 of the top 10 deals for the Trump family is Melania's new documentary. On January 6th of this year, Amazon announced a new documentary coming soon. An unprecedented, quote, unprecedented behind-the-scenes look at First Lady Melania Trump, unquote. And get this, Amazon will be paying out $40 million to the Trump family to license the documentary. Okay, so let me just say that again. Amazon is giving $40 million in cash to his family, the Trump family, to license this documentary. Direct cash into the pockets of the Trump family. But apparently, they're still looking for more. Melania's agent has been trying to sell sponsorships for the film, starting at $10 million to prominent CEOs and billionaires who were at the inauguration. In return for your sponsorship of this Melania documentary, buyers would get thanked at the end of the credits and be invited to the premiere. Reportedly, Trump interests are also pitching Hollywood for a show about Don Jr.'s time outdoors, a hunting show. Seriously, and who wouldn't want to see it? Might be a little bit like watching Dick Cheney go hunting again. But if you're looking for a way to get in good with the Trump family that doesn't involve golf or TV shows or buying a Tesla at the White House, they're offering another great solution. At number 7 of the top 10 deals for the Trump family during this presidency, we have the Trump family's new private club. As part of their crusade to refill the swamp, the Trump family is opening a private club right here in Washington, D.C. It will be called the Executive Branch. I wish I was kidding. Much like the Trump Hotel in the first administration, it will serve as a gathering place for Trump world and a way to directly pay homage to the president in the form of champagne and caviar and checks to his business endeavors and those of his kids. For a cool $500,000 membership fee, you too can schmooze with people wheeling and dealing within the administration. There is perhaps no more appropriate image of the Trump presidency than this. The executive branch club is an invite-only club for insiders, foreign investors, and billionaires to directly line the pockets of the first family, sending a message as clear as day to anyone who wants to do business in the United States. If you want to be with Trump, you've got to pay the cover charge. And now entering in at number 6 of the top 10 deals for Donald Trump of his presidency, a brand new Trump hotel in Dubai. Right now, literally at this moment, Donald Trump is in the United Arab Emirates. You can imagine the scene, standing in some gold-plated hotel room looking out over Abu Dhabi, and just beyond the line of sight in the distance is the skyline of Dubai. A skyline that, as of a few weeks ago, is likely getting a new feature cutting through the night sky. The Trump International Hotel and Tower Dubai, an 80-floor behemoth. And within it, luxury residences and exorbitantly expensive hotel rooms, apartments that start at a cool $2 million and penthouses that'll cost tens of millions of dollars. Even better, if you can't make the Trump new club here in D.C., there's going to be an exclusive members-only club right there in Dubai. In their words, quote, set to redefine the meaning of exclusive luxury. All benefiting, that's right, Donald Trump and his family. Now, their ventures in the Middle East don't start or end in Dubai, because entering in at number 5 of the best deals for Trump and the Trump family of his presidency, they're cashing in this time in Qatar. Coming soon to Doha, the Trump administration golf course. This is going to be an 18-hole course, a clubhouse, and high-end villas with beach access. A $5.5 billion deal, billion with a B, set to net the Trump family hundreds of millions of dollars. A deal that's reportedly in partnership with Qatari DR, a company owned by, in this case, the Qatari government itself. Now, I'm sure Qatar's multi-billion-dollar investment in the personal finances of the Trump family is entirely coincidental. I'm sure it is not intended to influence U.S. policy towards the country, which also hosts Al Jazeera, in any way. I know it's easy in all the Trump corruption and schemes to miss the forest for the trees, but let's not fail to appreciate just how unprecedented this is, just how corrupt and dangerous this is. The president's namesake company is directly in business with a foreign government. And the money is going into his pocket, not the Treasury, not your pocket as the taxpayer. It's going into Donald Trump and his family's pocket, his. But that's not the only Gulf nation in business with the president and his family, not by a long stretch. There is also Saudi Arabia, because entering in at number 4 is the newly announced Trump Tower in Jeddah and their two brand new projects in Riyadh. These will net the Trump family millions as well. And this isn't the first time the Trump family has cashed in with the Saudis. Months after Trump left office the first time, Jared Kushner's investment firm received a $2 billion investment from none other than the Saudi Crown Prince, a deal that was so shady, even the panel that screens investments for the Saudi Wealth Fund recommended against it. Imagine that. But they were overruled by higher-ups in the Saudi royal family, and the money went straight into the Trump family's enterprise, $2 billion. But it's not just Donald Trump and his family that are cashing in at your expense. The world's richest man is using his role, too, as a special government employee to cash in as well, because even when you're the world's richest man, as Elon Musk is, enough is never enough. Entering at number 3 are Elon Musk's shady Starlink deals. Elon Musk, when he's not tweeting or firing essential government workers, is turning his company Starlink into a global superpower. How? By using the sway of his position and his proximity to Trump to negotiate a whole raft of deals with foreign nations to purchase his Starlink satellite systems. Just look at what happened with the nation of Lesotho, located in South Africa. Donald Trump slapped crippling tariffs on the country. In the hopes of a trade deal, they came to the table, and that meant coming to Elon Musk's table. To understand this best, I want to read verbatim from a leaked internal State Department memo. Quote, as the government of Lesotho negotiates a trade deal with the United States, it hopes that licensing Starlink demonstrates goodwill and the intent to welcome U.S. business. As the government of Lesotho negotiates a trade deal with the U.S., it hopes that licensing Starlink demonstrates goodwill and intent to welcome U.S. businesses. This is from the State Department's own cable in black and white. It's just pay to play to get out from under the tariffs that Trump imposed on Lesotho. That country is going to buy Elon Musk's satellite system. Wow. Pay off Trump's machine, and maybe you'll get a trade deal. And of course, it isn't just the poor country of Lesotho. In February, Elon Musk met with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Blair House, a government building just steps from the White House. Their meeting was private, but the results were very public. Shortly after the meeting, India announced 2 Starlink distribution deals. Millions into Musk's pockets negotiated steps away from the White House. Since then, since the imposition of these tariffs, since the need of other countries to come in and to negotiate tariffs away with the Trump administration, Elon Musk has reached deals with Somalia, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Vietnam. And that's just what we know about so far. But I promise you, this will not be the end of it. It's among the most obvious, egregious, and dangerous acts of corruption in American history. Want out from under a tariff? Make a deal with Elon Musk and Starlink. And they're barely trying to hide it. Which brings us to number 2 of the top 10 deals for Donald Trump as president, and the top 10 ways that the American people are ending up holding the bag. Because Qatar isn't just investing in a new Trump Tower at home. The Qatari government is also gifting the president a new Air Force One. An aircraft so opulent that they're calling it a sky palace, a palace in the sky. A $400 million gift for Donald Trump that taxpayers will have to pay to debug. You can imagine all the national security implications of getting an airplane with all of its electronics and all of the venues you could hide eavesdropping equipment. You can imagine what will be necessary to debug an aircraft like that. It will need to be retrofit and upgraded to meet the standards of an Air Force One. It will cost taxpayers a fortune. And their plan, the Qataris' plan, is to gift the plane to the Trump Presidential Library before Donald Trump's term ends. That way, the president can keep using it as he pleases. That way, Donald Trump, in addition to his own private plane, in addition to Air Force One, which he is very upset with because it's a few decades old and, you know, it just doesn't have the amenities that Donald Trump has come to expect, he gets to keep this palace in the sky. While American airports are in crisis, air traffic controller shortages, radar blackouts, massive delays, and surging prices for you, the passenger, this is what the President of the United States is focused on. Not bringing down airfare for you, not dealing with those luggage fees and all the hidden costs when you buy airplane tickets. No, that's not what the President of the United States cares about. This is what he cares about. He cares about getting a $400 million gift from the Qataris, which he calls a nice gesture. Giving a whole new meaning to the term nice gesture. I kind of associate nice gesture with maybe someone picking up the tab at Chipotle, or maybe giving me a ride instead of having to take an Uber somewhere. But for Donald Trump, a nice gesture is a $400 million palace in the sky that he gets to keep or make use of when he's no longer president. Never mind that the gift violates the Constitution's prohibition on a president receiving gifts or emoluments. Never mind that it violates the Constitution. That seems to be of little concern to the president. But the fact is, the Qataris are not stupid. They're going to want something for that $400 million plane. There's no such thing as a free lunch. There's no such thing as a free $400 million plane. And that's something that the Qataris are going to want, is favorable U.S. policies towards Qatar in the Middle East. If they didn't want something for that plane, maybe they would have given it to you or somebody else not named Trump. This is, in fact, why we have a clause in the Constitution that prohibits gifts like this, because we want to know that the President of the United States is acting on our behalf, on our country's behalf, on our national security behalf, our interests, not some foreign interest that gave them a $400 million gift. And if you really believe that Trump won't return the favor when the time comes, when the Qataris want something that may or may not be in our national interest, if you really believe that Trump won't return the favor when that time comes, then I've got a 747 palace in the sky that I'd like to sell you. But that's not even the most corrupt deal of the 114-day-old Trump presidency, because coming in at number one of the top 10 best deals for Donald Trump and the worst deals for you, the taxpayer, is Donald Trump's crypto scheme. You've heard about the meme coin by now. This is, I think, the logo of the meme coin. The president's most brazen cashing in, a corrupt effort that's already made him and his family billions of dollars between its soaring values and the trading fees. Now, this meme coin's gone up and down in value, but the thing is, every time it gets traded, every time it's bought or sold, this guy gets a cut. He gets the fees, estimated already at the value of hundreds of millions of dollars. It's like posting his Venmo account online, inviting personal monetary tributes from foreign powers, foreign investors, or anyone else who's willing to pay up. You've heard about the private dinner that they're offering associated with this meme coin. The top 220 meme coin owners, many of whom are foreign investors, invited to a private dinner with the President of the United States. Businesses are buying and jockeying to be one of the favored few who also get a private audience with him if they're willing to buy millions of meme coins, not to mention a personal tour of the White House. But beyond the meme coins and the dinner parties, there's something else also brewing behind the scenes. As I speak, Eric, Trump, and Don Jr. are getting into the action, jetting around the world, building their own financial empire in the crypto business space. In Dubai, the Trump family's World Liberty financial firm announced a joint venture capital firm backed by the government of Abu Dhabi that would invest $2 billion using Trump digital currency. Now, I know it's hard to keep all these billions apart. You got the $2 billion investment in Jared Kushner by the Saudis. You got $5.5 billion investment by other Gulf nations in Trump properties. You got $2 billion here, $5.5 billion there, another $2 billion here, and pretty soon you're talking about serious money for the Trump family. This deal alone will generate hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue and fees for the Trump family. So that's the art of the deal with this president. Trump gets rich, you get screwed, over and over and over again. It's obvious to anyone who looks, but it bears repeating. He does not care about you. He does not care about making your life better. He does not care that prices are soaring or that home ownership seems impossible. He doesn't care if you have to choose between rent or groceries, let alone whether you'll be able to take that family on a vacation that you've dreamed of. He doesn't care if the health care you rely on gets cut or your local Social Security office closes down. He doesn't care. If it helps pay for his billionaire tax cuts, it's all the same to him. He does not care. Trump cares about one thing and one thing only. The same thing he cared about when he wrote this book. And the same thing he's focused on every day of this presidency. Deals to make himself richer, to make his family richer, to make his billionaire friends richer. And my colleagues, he is succeeding. He is succeeding beyond his wildest imagination. He will likely make more money in the next 4 years than he did in his entire life up to that point. In fact, he probably already has. With new gold-plated skyscrapers around the world and a suite of new golf courses to match. A fancy new plane, a speedy new Tesla with the richest man in the world in the passenger seat. A crypto empire and projects around the world that will keep the gravy train going for generations. And no matter what wreckage he leaves behind here, he knows that he can head off to one of those gold-plated skyscrapers, look down on the rest of us, and chuckle at his good fortune. The art of the deal, indeed. For Donald Trump, not for you.
Strip away the names, and the warning is clear. A system that can't draw firm boundaries will keep rewarding those who test them. The cost isn't just financial, it's public trust. And once that erodes, no election result, win or lose, can easily restore it.